D-boy steez with the fresh style. Shining fantastic on the disc and you like, what's this? K, welcome to the get down. Hope you're ready to get down. Shining fantastic on the disc and you like, what's this? K, welcome to the get down.
Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about the new show on Netflix called The Get Down. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the pilot episode. I'm not, sturdy with all the names right now, so just bear with me if I get it wrong. And let's just talk about what happened on this first episode. So this story is basically about this kid. His name is Ezekiel, and they call him Zeke, and he's a rapper. And at the beginning of the show, it shows him in this stadium. It looks like it's sold out, and he's like this big rap mogul. I think it's in the 90s, 1996. And then they do this flashback to New York, 1977, and it's when he was a teenager. And in the 1996 song that he was doing, he was referencing the first time that he met this guy named Shaolin Fantastic, and they call him Shao. So this episode is basically the meeting between Shao and Zeke. Zeke is a teenager who's in high school. He's living with his aunt and her boyfriend because both of his parents have passed away. So he has a few friends, and I'll get into them later. But let me just tell you about Ezekiel. Okay, so he is writing these poems for this girl that he's so in love with. Her name is Mylene, and she actually goes to school with him as well. So anyway, fast forward, they're in school, and it's the last day of school, so everybody's just ready to get up out of there and start their summer. And his teacher, Mrs. Green, lets him know that he won because they were having this competition, like this poetry competition, and he actually won. So a part of him winning meant that he would receive a gift and that he would have to get up and recite his poem. But he said, nah, I'm not going to get up and recite that poem. And to just push that idea home, he told her that he plagiarized it, that it really wasn't his poem, and so he really couldn't win. And she knew it was a lie. And so after all the kids had left, and his little muse, Mylene, she actually left out of the room too. He actually recited the poem to her without even looking at it. And it was a poem about how his parents had died and how it left him feeling, lost and alone, basically. But it was a really, really good and touching poem. And you can tell that he was going to be a great lyricist later on. Just like, they showed him in the future. You can see the beginnings of it, just with that one poem that he wrote. Now let's jump into Mylene. So this is Zeke's muse. So she can sing and she wants to be a famous singer, but here's her problem. She's a preacher's daughter. And so she comes from a very religious background, and her dad is 1000% against her singing the devil's music. So she don't care about none of that because she knows what she wants out of her life, and that's what she wants, to be a singer. So she tells Zeke that she's going to go to a club there, and it was called Les Inferno, and she was going to seek out DJ Malibu, which was, like this really popular DJ. She was going to give him a tape of her singing, which, by the way, Zeke helped her record. He played on the piano and she sung, and they recorded it, and she was going to give that recording to Malibu so that he could possibly sign her on his label. So that was her whole, idea of what she wanted to do. And Zeke was 100% against it because he said, gangsters be there. You don't need to be up in there. That's for grown folks. We teenagers. We don't need to be in there. But she was like, that's the only way that I know to make this happen. So that was her plan to do that. So Zeke, like I said, he has his little crew of friends. It's like 3 of them. It's Boo, Rara, and Dizzy, I think. So Dizzy, he is actually a graffiti artist. I think Dizzy, Ra, and Boo are our brothers, I think. And And so Ra is really Zeke's best friend. He's the one that gives him advice about Mylene, like what he should do. Just like when Zeke told Ra that Mylene had plans to go to that club that night, he was like, "Well, you got to be fresh. You gotta show up in there with your best gear on, and you gotta buy her something and sweep her off her feet so that she can fall in love with you like you want her to. So Ra is like his best friend. And so Mylene has friends too, and her friends are Yolanda and Regina. Yeah, I think that's right. And so, they were gassing her up and just telling her, look, you need to be dressed really cute and we gonna get in because we girls and we gonna dress sexy, and they gonna just let us in. Because I think Regina, she actually met some dude, up there before. So she was gonna, Wolf, was his name Wolf? Something like that. So that they could get in. So that night, everything goes to plan. Mylene sneaks out the window, honey, with her little friends, and she's dressed up really cute in this little gold dress. Yes, honey. And keep in mind, this is in the 70s, late 70s. So, their gear is very 70s disco-ish, but they look super cute, okay? And the guys, they get Zeke ready to go. Ra really did. Um, Zeke actually got a suit from Ra's father's closet. And, it was very 70s disco-ish as well. But, for that time and era, he was fly. And so the gift that Zeke was going to give to Mylene that night was this record that she was absolutely in love with. It was like the remix of some kind of song. And his plan was to go to the club, get the DJ to play the song so that they could dance together and fall in love and he could recite his poetry to her. I mean, it's just, he is such a romantic and in love with this girl. I keep saying that because it is so dominant. The way that the show is made, you cannot miss the fact that he loves this girl. Okay? I felt it. All right. So while Zeke is out trying to find this, rare um, record, he bumps into Shao. Now, let's rewind just a little bit. Let me give you a little background. So, Shaolin Fantastic. He's this huge graffiti artist and he does graffiti everywhere on everything. And Dizzy, he's just so inspired by him. And he really wants to be just like him because, he's a real artist and he respects, the graffiti that he does. And also, Shao is a drug dealer slash dancer slash DJ. He's just like a triple D. And so while Zeke is in the record store, there's this local gang that is around there, and they're called the Seven Warlords. And they actually come in there and try to stick up, the owner of the store. So Zeke is standing back there with that record like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. And then all of a sudden, Shao swoops past him, grabs his record, and runs up out of there. Now, keep in mind, Shao is like this, like this mini kung fu master. He's a lot of things, okay? He's just a very layered character. Let's just say that. So anyway, so Shao strikes out and he's running, and the warlords, they're mad at Shao anyway because he be spraying graffiti in the area, where their little area is. And so Shao actually gets away, but he drops the record. And when he drops the record, Zeke is standing up under him because Shao was like at the top of this building, this burning building. And when he dropped the record, Zeke got it and he struck out too. So now Shao is looking for Zeke. So fast forward to that night. The girls get in, of course, because they are dressed super cute. Zeke gets there and he can't get in, of course. And the bouncer is just giving him a hard time. He got this record in his hand. They're like, you too young, you corny. No, you can't get up in here. So meanwhile, inside the club, they're having a birthday party in another section of the club for one of the biggest drug dealers in the city, it seemed like. And her name is Fat Annie. And Fat Annie has a son. and his name is Cadillac, and I think he pushes drugs as well. And he's one of the best dancers that are there in the club. Like Cadillac is like this. He's known for dancing, and every night they do, well, I don't know if it's every night, but they always do this dancing contest, and he always wins with some chick. So, the girls be trying to be up on him so that they can win, the dance contest that they have. So Cadillac is an older man. I don't know how old or whatever, but he's older than the teenage girls or whatever. But Cadillac looks over and he sees Mylene. So him being, the type of man that he is, he's like, I want her. And, he's a ladies' man. And, of course, nobody can resist Cadillac, blah, 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 whatever. So, he had on his all white. I mean, everything is so disco. So, anyway, he calls Mylene and her homegirls over there, and he's all up on her and stuff. And she told her friends before she got there, she was like, "Look, I'm not gonna be out here sleeping with men just to get what I need to get done. I'm just not that girl to be doing that." But her friends was like, "Girl, please, I'd do it." Blah blah blah. That's just teenage girls, okay? So when Cadillac is pushing up on her, she's just looking at him like, "Ew, you're gross. And you're so much older than me. What are you doing?" So she's really paying him dust until he tells her that he is actually the one that's over DJ Malibu. And he was like, I made him who he is, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, "Oh, really?" So she was like, "You think you can give him this tape of me singing?" And he's like, "Yeah, what you gonna do for me?" And she was like, "You know what? I do it myself." So she went out on the dance floor with her homegirls and they was all out there dancing. So DJ Malibu, he's there and he's, playing the music and doing his thing, and he's a great DJ. And while Zeke is standing outside, Shao comes out and he sees him and he's like, "Hey man, you got my record." And so they go around the back and, they ready to square up and fight, for the record and stuff. And Shao does this kung fu whole thing, and Zeke is looking at him like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" They never did throw blows. They just kind of pushed each other around. And Zeke made it known, "Look, I can't give you this record because I'm trying to go in here and play it for my girl because I love her. And I want to play this record and I want her to fall in love with me." And, he just going through all of that. And finally, Shao lets him come in with him, but he had to promise to give Shao the record once everything was done. So he agreed to that. So they get in and they talk the DJ Malibu into playing the record, and they start playing the record. And so Zeke goes out onto the floor and he finds Mylene and they start dancing and they kiss, and they're like, it's this real, romantic moment or whatever. And then, of course, a hater gonna be a hater. And Cadillac seen what was going on, so he was like, "Nah, I'm finna go back out here because like I said, his mother was Fat Annie, and it was her birthday, and it was time to sing happy birthday. So they were actually coming to get Cadillac so he could go sing happy birthday. But all while, they trying to drag him away, he can't stop looking on the dance floor at Mylene and Zeke. And so he's like, "Nah, I'm finna break this up." So instead of going back there, he went back out to the dance floor, and he tells DJ Malibu to switch up the song or whatever he did, or remix it or whatever. Honey, I ain't no DJ, I don't know. So anyway, he switched it up, and Cadillac went out there and started, showboating and dancing and all of that, which he could dance. I really like the fact that they're in the 70s and they're showing all these 70s dance moves, and it's a period piece. And they just did a really good job. The clothes, the fashion and the music, it's all very 70s. So anywho, so Cadillac is out there dancing, and Mylene is just still looking at him like, "No, I'm not into that." And somehow the whole crowd started dancing together at one point. And Zeke and Mylene got separated, and it ended up with Cadillac and Mylene actually dancing. So they were really dancing, and everybody was watching them. And then all of a sudden, the 7 warlords, they fall up in there and they start spraying everybody. They just like shooting the whole place up. And Oh my goodness, DJ Malibu gets killed. They were trying to kill Fat Annie, but they didn't get to her, but they killed some of her people, and everybody just scattered. So all the teenagers made it out safely, thank goodness. And when Zeke was walking Mylene home, he professes his love once again to her, just like begging her, I want you to be my girl, please be my girl. And you can tell it in her face. She wanna say yeah. But she stops him and she cuts him off and she's like, no, I cannot do it. I am too focused on trying to be a singer. I have big dreams and you are just going to hold me back. And he's like, no, I won't. And it was just a real touching moment because, he was tearing up and I'm almost tearing up because I feel his pain. He's in love and he want to be with her so bad. And she's just not hearing it. And she's like, no. And she was like, plus you say you want me, but you really don't know what you want. And she told him that she needed a man, not a little boy, who can't get up in front of the class and recite his poetry. She said, you are smart, you're gifted. You don't even know your gift and you're not even going to use it. No, I can't deal with you like that. And so it broke his heart and she walked off or whatever. But honey, as soon as she got in that house, her daddy went off. He was like, where you been? You dressed like a whore. I mean, he just went crazy. He started hitting her. And, her mom was like, call your uncle. And so her uncle is like I think he's like the commissioner or something. And he comes and gets her. And he has big plans for the city as well. He's actually working with the mayor in some capacity. They keep leaning like maybe her uncle is dirty, or I don't know, maybe he has some kind of affiliation with some shisty people. I don't know, but anyway, so he comes and gets her, and she gets out of the house. So Zeke goes back to his homeboys, and he's telling them everything that happened, and she turned him down, and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, here comes Shao, popping up, hopping in with with a kung fu kick. Um, And he's like, man, where my record? I got you in, so now you got to hold up your end of the deal. So Zeke gives him the record, and he's like, man, if y'all really want to go to a good party, y'all come with me. We're gonna go to the get down. And so he takes them to this little block party, it's like, and Grandmaster Flash is on the ones and twos, and then we find out that um Shao is actually Grandmaster Flash's protege. And that's really what Shao wants to do. He wants to be a DJ. But he also needed a wordsmith, aka a rapper, a lyricist, or whatever, to, be with him so that he can advance musically. He can be a DJ, but he needs somebody out there who can rap. And so when he met Zeke, he found out that Zeke was good with words, but once again, Zeke was not exactly comfortable with sharing his gift out loud. So there came a point where Grandmaster was, he was on the ones and twos, and there was actually a rapper that was there, getting the crowd amped, and he was like, who want to try? And he sends the mic out, and it goes to Zeke, and Zeke freezes up, and then, these guys walk up on him, and they're like, man, where y'all from? Y'all got on this disco clothes, and, y'all out of y'all element. Basically, they was like, man, we in the hood right now, and we don't do all that disco and all of that stuff. Y'all look lame out here. Y'all need to go home. And so when Shao seen that a fight was about to erupt, he started battling the dude, dance battling. And once again, this just was a great moment because it just brought back, that old school way of squashing beef. You dance it out. And so Shao was on point with his dancing, okay? And he battled that dude and he won. And he was like, what? And when Zeke saw that happen, something sparked in him. And he grabbed that mic, y'all, and he just went out there and he killed it. Oh my goodness. Like he killed it. And the crowd went crazy. And it started out as a bad night, but it ended as a good night. And at the end of the show, they show Zeke as an adult, 20 years later on that stage again. And he's just having this moment of nostalgia. He's just thinking about, his beginnings and how everything started for him. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get from, being crazy teenagers to becoming, this crew of successful people. Um, I feel like I'm missing something. What else happened? Oh, Shao actually met Dizzy and he gave all of his graffiti stuff to Dizzy so that he can, continue the graffiti because now that he found his rapper, he was gonna just be a DJ straight up. So they all decided to be this crew. And that's what they're gonna do. Dizzy is more like the graffiti guy, but Ra and Boo and Zeke and Shao, they're like the main crew. So we just gonna see how this plays out. It seems like it's gonna be a great show. I'm excited to watch it. I'm gonna try to watch it episode by episode. It's hard to not binge watch it because of course it's on Netflix, so the whole season is there for me to watch. So I'm gonna try to do it episode by episode, so bear with me. um but yeah, I'm just excited about this show. It's really good. Some people don't like it. I don't know why, but I don't know. If I left anything out, please drop it below in the comments. Join in the conversation. Let me know if I missed something, y'all. I'm not a hip hop head, so some of this stuff may go over my head. I'm sorry, but I mean, if you talking R&B, I'm with you. But hip hop, I'm really just not. I'm not on the bandwagon too much with that, but I do respect it. I really do. I guess they're showing like the beginnings of hip hop. Did hip hop start in New York? I don't know. Y'all let me know. School me. Let me know. Let your girl know. But all right, y'all. I will catch you on the next episode. All right.
With the fresh style, Shellyse fantastic song
Bye.
and disc. What's this? K, welcome to the get down. Hope you're ready to get down. Shellyse fantastic song and disc. And you like what's this? K, welcome to the get down.